That's not cute, Holly. Come on now. Okay. I am doing
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Tonka, and this is Perfume Vegas from my perfume closet. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't know it's the quarantine, man. It's getting to me. So what I am doing today is a review of the Police fragrances that I have. The House from Police, the perfumes from that brand. So a little bit about the brand. Police is an Italian fashion brand. I believe it's Italian. They were founded in the early 80s, and they are a fashion brand primarily, but in the 90s, they began doing perfume as well. Their perfumes are available, I believe, on their website to order for all of Europe and the UK. For those of us in North America, as far as I can tell, this might be different from Canada, but for US, as far as I can tell, there's no way to order directly from the Police website to the US. They don't offer that shipping. But a lot of their fragrances are available through discount retail sites like Fragrance X and Fragrance Net, and they're really inexpensive. So anyway, I'm just going to go over the fragrances that I have, tell you a little bit about them, and a little bit about what I think about the quality, longevity, sillage, price point, all of that stuff. So I'm going to get started with the two that I've talked about in the past, and those are To Be Exotic Jungle Woman and To Be the Queen. These are both from the To Be line of fragrances. There are both masculine and feminine fragrances in this line. For example, Exotic Jungle has a masculine version, and there's To Be the King as well. So I've talked about Exotic Jungle Woman the most because I've had it the longest, but this is a really nice fragrance. I mean, some people are going to like these bottles. Some people are going to think they're extremely tacky. I personally like kind of kitschy decor. I'm not really into having everything look a certain way. I just like things that I like, so I don't mind the bottles at all. But of all of these fragrances, To Be Exotic Jungle Woman is still probably my favorite. It's just a beautiful, sweet, floral fragrance. It does have that strong top note of plum. It is very plummy. It's kind of a jammy floral. All of these fragrances are not super unique. For example, To Be Exotic, the DNA of this, although it is not a dupe house, this isn't a dupe house, so these aren't dupes for anything, but the DNA of this is reminiscent of Montguerlain and Montparis, that type of like sweet floral fragrance. It's definitely not aromatic at all, but it is a sweet floral with a musky vanilla dry down. It's really nice. I did spray on the paper because I wasn't going to be spraying like crazy in the closet. It's just really nice for everyday wear. You could get away with this for pretty much every situation. Dates, going out outside, really going out just in general. I would probably not call it an office-friendly fragrance just because it's a little bit sweet for that. But depending on where you work, you may totally be able to wear it. I just find it very versatile, non-offensive. The projection is mild, but the lasting power of this is very, very good. Both of the To Be fragrances have a very mild projection, but a long lasting power. So you can spray it 1, 2, 3, 4, however many you like to do, and it's going to last you all day. It does dry down to a skin scent about 5 to 6 hours in. No, a little bit sooner than that, maybe like 4 hours in. But you will still be able to smell it, and anyone close to you will still be able to smell it. So that's my favorite that I own so far, is the Police To Be Exotic Jungle Woman. These are so inexpensive too that even if you didn't like something, you're not going to be hurting for having blind bought. This is probably the most expensive one that I purchased, and it was about $25. The second most expensive and also the other in the To Be line is To Be the Queen. This is super, super pretty. This has a nice, it's a similar fruity, not fruity floral, but a similar sweet, slightly fruity floral. But this one has a very strong scent of patchouli that does come through right from the top, and on the dry down is very much like a patchouli vanilla scent. Definitely, I've seen it called fruitchouli. I don't like portmanteaus, so I would never say that. But it is a sweet, floral, fruity patchouli scent. Yeah, even on the paper, the patchouli comes through very heavy. This I have mentioned in other videos is a cross probably between Angel and Angel Muse, if you were looking at a DNA that was similar to it. To me, it feels more like Angel Muse because it is floral and not so strong on the gourmand side, but it is missing that hazelnut note. It is more of a fruity floral patchouli scent, so it's similar to the original Angel in that vein. Honestly, I don't know how the Angel Eau de Toilette smells, neither the recent version or the older version. This may be closer to that. I'm not 100% sure, but it is really beautiful. And if you like a patchouli dry down, I would strongly suggest To Be the Queen for you. This fragrance was about $22. Those two I purchased from Fragrance Net. The next three I purchased from Fragrance X. So I'm going to do some masculine fragrances. I did pick up some masculine scents to try to see if the masculine fragrances were as good or better than the feminine fragrances. And I find the masculine fragrances to be very well done as well. Yes. I only have the two right now. I did want to pick up Police Icon in the Falcon, that Falcon bottle. It reminds me of that old mystery movie. What was it called? I can't think of the name right now. I'll probably either pop out of my mouth at random point or I'll write it on the screen. But I didn't get it. I haven't gotten it yet. If I do pick that up, I'll make sure to oh god, I'm slouching. That's one thing about not having a chair. I'm just like, oh. If I do pick that up, I will make sure I will talk about it in a haul or a video. But, so the first one I have is Police Original. And I believe this is the first scent that they released, which is why it's called Original. Actually, I think it was just called Police originally. But when they started making more fragrances, the designation Original was tacked on. This is really nice. This is my favorite of the two masculine fragrances. It's a really fresh type of barbershop scent. It's got that lavender note. It's got a lot of green notes. It's got some vetiver. It's got some oak moss. It's got musk. It's a typical fougere type of fragrance DNA. And it's just a really clean, fresh barbershop scent. It does smell slightly older, mature. It does, I guess that's probably the best way. My mom is texting me like crazy. It does smell slightly mature in a way, but it's not like old. It's reminiscent of original type of cologne, barbershop colognes or aftershaves, but it doesn't smell like old man. Yeah, it's dried pretty much clear off the paper. It is probably the least longest lasting of these. It dries down to a skin scent probably about 3 to 4 hours, and I would say that you would need to apply this after about 6 to 8 hours. Some people, that's totally fine. That's not a problem. It's like for me, I like to change my fragrances throughout the day, so that's not a big deal. But if you wanted to wear your scent all day long, you may want to not, take that into consideration. But the scent projection is nice. It's not overly powerful. It would be great for an office setting. This would be an excellent fragrance for a man to wear to an office. The next masculine fragrance, I have Police Legend for men. This is definitely more youthful, definitely more of your traditional current style of fragrance DNA. It's got a bold sort of opening and dries down very heavy and musky, woody, a bit green, a bit spicy, and then with a very warm woody dry down. This reminds me of something like Gucci Guilty Pour Homme or Versace Eros Pour Homme, just in that same sort of idea that it's a very bold masculine fragrance. You're going to get a super good longevity out of this particular scent. I would say at least 8 hours. It does dry down to a skin scent at about the 5 to 6 hour mark though. So if you're a man who is going to be wearing it out to like a club or a date, or maybe not a date, you may want to kind of back off on a date. But if you're going to be wearing it out to a club or into a situation where you want people to smell you, make sure you spray it only an hour or two before you go out. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit, it would either be too much or not enough, kind of. I'm going to leave the notes, of course, for everything listed down below, but this particular fragrance I am not going to keep for myself. I'm going to see if a masculine acquaintance wants it, but it is a really good scent, especially for younger men. Okay, so that was Police Legend for men. And then in a similar looking bottle with the dangerous cap, I have Police Shock and Scent for women. And, oh, ow, this one hurts. This one like rips your hands up. This is a really nice floral fruity scent that's not got the patchouli dry down of to be the queen, but it is more of a rounder floral scent than Exotic Jungle, which is more fruits. This is strongly reminiscent to me of Flower Bomb, Victor and Rolf Flower Bomb. Is it up here? So yeah, this is strongly reminiscent of that. Police Shock and Scent. The only difference I find with this is that this is slightly sweeter than Flower Bomb. Vanilla has a really nice vanilla dry down. It's not as overpowering. A lot of reviews I've read have also compared this to Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal, which I have not smelled, so I will have to just refer you to that, to those reviews if you want to know more about that comparison. But this I would find much preferable to Flower Bomb. It just is less offensive. It's less of a flower bomb, and it's more versatile. It is not my favorite of the 3 feminine fragrances I have, obviously, but I was actually pleasantly surprised when I wore it. It performs really well. It has a moderate sillage again, but a nice lasting power. This lasts on the skin for at least 8 hours. So very good, very good quality fragrance. Lasting power and decent sillage. Overall, all of these scents have a good quality feel about them. The packaging of all of them is nice. It's heavy. It's luxurious feeling. Although, the metallic bits are not real metal. They're just plastic. The bottles themselves are glass. They're heavy. They feel weighty in your hand. They feel like quality in your hand, and they are, well done. The original one is probably the least impressive, but again, I don't know if there's been any changes made to this packaging since this was originally released. It's supposed to look like a hip flask, apparently. It does look like that. The fragrance itself, although these are clearly made with some synthetic ingredients, they're not like all natural, they're not super botanical fragrances. They're fairly generic fragrances. They're on the line of just fragrances that follow a certain sort of crowd-pleasing style. There's nothing new or innovative about any of them. But even though they are not extremely special in regards to the way they smell, they do smell good. Nothing ever has a chemical smell, or there's no like synthetic scent components that come through on my skin. On all of these, they would easily be noticeable if that was the case, because the scent projection starts off so strong. But even on the dry down, they dry down very nice, they dry down very true to scent, and you're not getting any sort of weird like weird fragrance component that comes through like suddenly in the middle of the scent. So Police Shock and Scent for women, I believe, was around $17 or $18. The Police Legend men was $15, and the Police Original was $12. So they're really inexpensive. These fragrances are really nice quality for the price. There's really, I don't think, anyone who I've seen saying otherwise. If you are interested in them, I don't think you are in any danger of getting like a total, you know, like a total thumbs down if you purchase it, if you do a blind buy with them, because they're very true to their note pyramid. You don't have any surprises really with any of these fragrances. The only one I would say that I would watch out for is To Be the Queen, just because of that patchouli note. If you don't like patchouli, avoid that. Otherwise, yeah, masculine fragrances have all, like, they've also experienced, the masculine fragrances that I've experienced have also exhibited that same scent DNA, scent profile, where they're very true to their pyramid and they are not surprising. Even if you look at the notes and you think that they look like they might be surprising, and this one has a really nice lavender, fougere, like I said, barbershop type of scent. Yeah, that is my overall review of the House of Police fragrances. Go ahead and pick one up. Go ahead and blind buy it, because I think you'll be pretty safe with that. If you have any questions about individual scents, or would like to see me review an individual scent, leave that information down below. And otherwise, I will see you on